right now. I was mad. Christmas time was taking forever because there's so many dates. I got even worse. And guess what? And you know what I did? I infected that file that was in my brain with viruses and malware. I downloaded malware and infected that file. I would never use a worm. I'll never use a Trojan. Well, I could use a worm, but same thing. The worm will infect your computer. So nope, I will not use a worm. I will not use that. I will not use that either. I will not use a worm, and I will not use a Trojan. Those are dangerous programs that will infect your computer and make it run slow, and make it slow down and crash and cause your computer to run slow. And it's running slow. Well, actually, that file, I corrupted with a virus. Will now cause parts of the computer to malfunction, or the computer is just running slow because I infected that file with a virus. But no, I didn't use hacking, and no, I didn't use a freaking Trojan or a worm. I just pushed a little button. I did not have to install a Trojan or anything. I just pushed a button and infected that file with malware. Malware. That's what I said. I corrupted that file. That's how I reported it. I reported that file by corrupting it. Well, I didn't have to corrupt that file, but I could report it, and maybe the computer system might just remove the file or delete the file, or they might corrupt the file. If I don't have to corrupt the file, I can just hit the report button and they'll take care of it. They'll corrupt the file for me. They'll infect the file. They'll infect it with viruses for me. They'll do it for me. I don't have to corrupt the file on my own. I don't have to corrupt the file by myself. I can report it and they'll corrupt it for me. They'll put a virus in it for me. So that's what I did. I'm glad talking about what I did to that file last night. I corrupted that computer and I infected that computer with viruses. I corrupted that computer network. I infected that computer network with viruses. I mean, I corrupted that program. I corrupted that program. I infected the software. I corrupted that program with viruses and malware. I corrupted that computer program. I didn't want to process it. My brain got a bad thought, and I corrupted it. But if it was Christmas time already, and I asked my dad if I could have my laptop or I could get a snack, he might say, "Well, Henry, you did not behave." Well, even though he said it nicely, I still would have to go and do something about it. Like, I still would have to go and corrupt that file. The same I did to that other file. I'll corrupt that file. It's going to happen again. I'll infect it with viruses or whatever, malware, Trojans, whatever I want to use to infect that file with viruses. And get that file out of there. Well, an example of a corruption means that the file still stays on the computer, but you cannot access it because that file is infected. That file is infected with malware. An example of a corruption and an infection means that the file still stays on the computer, but you cannot access it because you will get attacked by malware if you open it. You will get infected by malware if you open that file. That's an example of a corruption. Removing it just removes it from the computer of the mind. If Daddy tells me information I don't like, well, I could choose to remove it from my computer, but I know something better. If Daddy tells me, if it was Christmas time and I asked my dad, he told me, no, Henry, you did not behave, I will do the same thing for that other file. Or you know what I'll do? I'll go to Satan's botnet and corrupt it that way. I'll go to Satan's botnet and infect it that way. So yes, I'll just go to a website called satansbotnet.com. Go to Satan's botnet army and infect that file badly. Or probably use sin. Use sin to infect that file with malware. You can either do it from Satan's army, you can either do it from Satan's botnet army, or you can use sin. Or you can just find demonic spirits and corrupt that file that way. Or you can go to a website that contains malware, or you could use demons to corrupt the file. You could do it that way. You could use demons to infect that file with malware. Or go to Satan's botnet. Or go to a website that contains malware. You could corrupt the file that way. If you want to do it like that, you could do it like that. I just showed you a technique that I did. I corrupted the file. I infected the file with malware and viruses and malicious software. If Daddy says I'm not going to get the presents because I didn't behave, I'll come up with another technique. And this technique will be, I'll do the same thing. I'll use the same technique. Go to the devil, go to Satan's botnet, corrupt the file, and infect it with viruses or whatever. Do whatever you want to it. Do whatever you can to get that file off your computer. I'll use the demons to even corrupt it if I wanted to, but no, that I can't do that because it will fuck up the whole entire computer system of the mind, and I don't want to do that. So, I could use the devil botnet website to corrupt the file, infect the file with viruses, or I could use the demonic spirits to contaminate that file with malicious software or whatever. Well, it's a-okay. Bottom by rules. As long as you're not damaging the whole system. Like, I could go on the demonic spirits, and I can corrupt that file by using the demons from the malware. Sending the malware. The malware being sent by Satan. And the demons are going to start to attack that file. The malware. But I don't want to do that because I feel like that if I do that, it's going to mess up the whole computer system. It's going to infect the whole computer system. I don't want to do that. I would want to use Satan's army, but I would want to get safety first before I can do that. I would want to use Satan's army. I would want to use the Satan botnet army. I would want to use Satan's botnet army to infect that file that way, but I would have to learn some safety first. I would have to get safety first. I would have to get safety before I can do that. I'll use the satanic malware. I'll use Satan's malware to infect that file. Get that file off my computer. I'll use Satan's malware. How does that sound? Something even cool. I'll use Satan's malware. I'll use the devil's malware. I'll use the satanic malware. I'll use the malware of the devil. The malware prisoned by the souls of God. That's what I'll do. I'll do whatever I have to do to get that file off my computer. I'll either use the malware, or I'll use Satan's malware. I'll use the devilish malware. I'll use the satanic malware. That will corrupt it. But yes, I'll use the satanic malware, or I'll use the devil to attack the software and infect the software, or I'll just use Satan's botnet if I want to use Satan's botnet. But I definitely got to be careful with that, because what if I infected the whole system? I'm not going to infect the whole system. Don't worry. I know what I'm doing. I know what website I'm going on. Maybe if I wanted to use Satan's botnet to infect the file with malware, I would have to go to the secured version. I would have to go to the trusted version. I would have to go to a secure version, an encrypted version, to use Satan's malware to infect the file. I can go to the security version or the antivirus version, the antivirus software version, or the security version, or the encryption version, or a trusted version of Satan's malware.com, a trusted version of Satan's botnet army. I'll go to the security version. I will not go to the untrusted version. I will not go to the dangerous version. I'll go to the security version. I'll go to the encryption version. There's two versions. One, I'm going to talk about Satan's malware. There's two versions. One is the untrusted version, where the whole computer system gets infected with a virus and it crashes, and the whole computer gets attacked by viruses and contaminate the software. Now, another one is the encrypted version, the security version. There's the dangerous version of Satan's botnet army, and there's the security version of Satan's botnet army. Well, if I want to play with Satan's botnet army and download malware into the computer, I would have to go find the security version of that website that contains malware, dangerous viruses. That's what I have to do. If I want to install Satan's malware on my operating system, I need to go download the security version, the encryption version. The protected version. There's a protected version of that. Or the antivirus version.